So welcome everyone to this special Pillai Center webinar for a special, pretty interactive way to experience connecting with Dr. Pillai. So if you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Thank you for your patience. If you're watching on our Pillai Center viewing page, welcome also. And in both places, you can participate in the chat sessions and share questions. Definitely share your questions. I will take them at the end. And then also ideas or ways you connect with Dr. Pillai that may help spark something in someone else who's watching this today. So I hope that it can be a pretty light and fun webinar that people can share their best experiences in connecting to Dr. Pillai. So the reason we are here today, this timing is important because Dr. Pillai's birthday is this coming week. It is February 1st. This happens to be his 70th birthday, so it's a big birthday celebration. And for Dr. Pillai's teachings, a lot of you know about important timings. So we're going to start with that, that knowing the timings of the day is very important. And one of the most powerful days of the year is his birthday. So it's a power time for each of us because it's the time that we incarnated here. It's the date, the place, the everything that started our life on the earth plane. And that's why it's so important. And to connect with Dr. Pillai wherever you are in the world on his birthday is utilizing these power times. It's like you get this amplified experience of it. There's a window for you to tap into him in that power time. So that's why it's really important. So number one, you want to mark down February 1st on your calendar. It's next week, and participate in some way to connect with him. And I'll go through the different options you have. So we're going to talk about how to do this just at home on your own, how to do it on his birthday, how to do it every day. And then also, we're going to talk about options you have at Pillai Center. You can still participate in the upcoming virtual birthday experience. So you can participate like you're with Dr. Pillai. There's going to be a call for you to join if you wish to do that. So there are a lot of ways to do it. So the other thing I want to say about timings is in general, you can use timings as benchmarks in ways to connect with Dr. Pillai as well. So there are certain things you want to mark down, or if you have your iPhone or your Android with HoroWatch, which is the Astraved app that gives you information about each day. And these specific timings include the planet that rules that day, the birth star or the nakshatra of the day, and the moon phase of the day. So the more you get into working with Dr. Pillai, the more you see these timings really matter. And you can even set yourself reminders. You can use HoroWatch every day. You can use the calendar to remember important days. If you're only going to hit a few in the month or the week, you could hit specific ones. And that's going to, again, enhance your experience of connecting with Dr. Pillai. So the ones I want to give you, number one, it's birthday, which is coming up. Number two is Thursday is a great day to connect with Dr. Pillai because it's the day of Jupiter, Guru, the teacher of all the planets, and Dr. Pillai being a teacher for all of us. There's a lot of power to connect with teachers of all kinds on Thursday, but specifically it's a power time to do these practices and connect with Dr. Pillai. The other thing you can do is Sunday is really powerful because Dr. Pillai, his name, Bhaskaran, means the sun. He's in a planetary period of the sun, so the sun is really essential for him at this time. So I always like to think of Sundays as another big day to make that connection. And his birth star is Purva Bhadrapada. So the moon transits, or it moves through the zodiac. It moves through these 27 stars about every day. And so you have one day a month where the moon is in the nakshatra or the star of Purva Bhadrapada. And that's a really powerful time to connect with Dr. Pillai as well. So for timing, just jot those down or put them in your calendar. Look on the Astraved calendar, Astraved's website, Pillai Center's website, or HoraWatch, and you can start to hit those power times. There's others, but I just wanted to throw those ones out there today so you have the essentials. Now, if that's totally brand new to you or it sounds foreign, that's okay. I'm going to break it down to the simplest ways you can connect with him now. So you have your timings, you can use them if you like, but the best advice I can give is to actually do it every day, to have a personal connection, this sort of one-on-one channel opening with Dr. Pillai that's very unique to you. And know that wherever he is, he travels around the world often. He's able to connect with you beyond the limitations that we think we have to be in the same space as someone. But we all know that we have connections to people in different places. So using that knowledge, you're connecting with him wherever he is in the world and tapping into that, because Dr. Pillai also goes to a lot of places with purpose and intention for helping people in the world. He will go to power spots. He will learn about different archetypes. He'll do different rituals. He'll explore things in science or places all around the world. And when you're connecting with him on a daily basis, you're tapping in to what he's doing, what he's experiencing, his spiritual, his material practices. So if you can, make it a practice to do every day. So the first thing you can do, the simplest thing everyone can do, is talk to Dr. Pillai. So you can do this in the form of have a conversation, like he's your friend and you need advice and you're wondering, should I go this way or that way? What time should I make this appointment? Should I talk to that person? Should I apply for this job? Should I make this investment? Whatever it may be that's on your plate, use your relationship with Dr. Pillai to have a dialogue. So you can just talk out loud. You can write letters. A lot of people write things down as if they're addressing him. And that way it's an action that you're putting into place where you create this relationship. Another variation of that is to pray. If that's more comfortable for you, you can actually make it a personal prayer and ask for his guidance on whatever specific, thing you're working on, or just his guidance in general for the day. You can make it so that you feel his presence and his connection all throughout the day, and you can come back to that as much as you'd like. Dr. Pillai is a very practical teacher, so he has in many of his teachings and his courses, he's talked about doing things fast. And so it could be as simple as you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is make a prayer to him or talk to him, so that you're already starting your day off with a connection to this master who can guide you each step of the way, no matter what you have to do in that day. Another way you can do it is if you are practicing a meditation, say you have even a mantra you're chanting, a breathing technique you're doing, perhaps you're in one of the Pillai Center programs, and you have a set meditation you're working with, you can make a prayer or have that dialogue with Dr. Pillai before you start the meditation. So if you're one of those people or you're really interested in his teachings, you're looking at videos on YouTube, even before you start that video or that teaching, you just can close your eyes for a second, do it with your eyes open, but make that personal connection through conversation or prayer. And it's really powerful because then again, you're aligning with his energy, and then you're going into a practice. You're consciously starting that mantra or that meditation with his guidance, and give it a try and see what you experience, if that's any different for you. So that's number one. All of us can talk to him in one way or another. Like I said, you can also write a letter. That's been really powerful for people. You can do it old-fashioned and scribble it out on paper. You can obviously type it up. You can even record it. Everyone has some sort of device these days where if you just need to get things out, you need guidance, you can, record yourself as you're talking to him, and then you may or may not listen to that recording, but at least you're in communication and taking that action. So after that, after the dialogue, the prayer with him, the other thing you can do is have a picture. So I have some examples that I wanted to show you. There's a lot of pictures you can find through Pillai Center. You could use his videos, which I wanted to talk about. That's a really good way to have Dr. Pillai's energy, is to watch his teachings, both new and old. They carry a lot of his energy, so it's a really beautiful part of technology that we have to use and connect with him. So for a photo, there's different things you can do. So for example, you can see there's a photo behind me that's a little bit older. There's this photo I have of Dr. Pillai a few years ago that I just put into a frame and I keep in my room or my office, so I have a picture of him. You also have this great one. It's from a long time ago. Some of you know this picture well. I think it's really important to have a picture that you love. You just feel like, oh, that's the way I know him and see him and connect to him. So find one you really like. Other examples, some of you might have these old cards. We used to have them from Master Ved and Pillai Center. I always keep one in my wallet. I keep one near my desk. That way he's around. You might even have like I've just pulled an old CD. If you still have CDs, there's images of him. You could use that as an option. I'm just pulling out all the ways you can find him. If any of you have a copy of his book, there's pictures, the one I showed you, this older one. There's a couple in here. You could use these. These are quite old, but they're kind of fun to see Dr. Pillai in a different setting. Or some of you may have this, and I carry this just in my wallet. There's images of his feet, which you can have, and this is a pretty small size. There are some that are larger. I'll even show you, this is, I have all my cards and I have his feet and I carry this with me. You could have a picture on your phone. I know a lot of people do that. If you've gone to an event and you have a photo of him and you can keep it with you, or you find one online, that's a great way to have the picture. And the reason the picture is important is because it's a form, right? We as humans do really well connecting with forms. So you can see his form and his energy, and then you can open up with that dialogue or that prayer and make the connection. It's also really helpful to have them in places like where you meditate or where you work or where you spend a lot of time, and then you're in his energy. You're also bringing Dr. Pillai into that space. So say, you spend a lot of time at your workstation, if it's at home or work, and you're able to have a picture of him, depends on your job, but that's a really good way throughout the day when you're going through whatever is going on in your day. You can also take a break and connect with Dr. Pillai just by, again, having that conversation, making that prayer, chanting a mantra. I'll get into the mantras in just a second, but definitely if you have a space carved out in your house or your apartment, wherever you live, for a meditation practice, no matter what things you have there. So you may have other archetypes, you may have books, you may have sacred objects. Having a picture of Dr. Pillai in that space is also a really beautiful and powerful way to bring his energy into your meditation practice. So I recommend that as well. So the other thing I wanted to sort of interactively show you is, it's a little bit hard, I don't have it set up correctly, but say you have a picture and you can set it on your table or your altar, and then what you can do, bear with me, is you can have a candle or a ghee lamp. So some of you have ghee lamps. This is a little ghee lamp. It's just filled with ghee, and then you light it like a candle. You can also use candles. I always try to get ones that don't have a lot of toxic chemicals, but you can use whatever you like. That is a form of light. So you're going to offer light to his picture. So see if I can You can simply light the lamp and then offer it to the picture and make your prayer. Ask for the guidance you need if you're working through a problem you need his help with, or just to be more conscious, to be in the highest consciousness you can and to learn what that is through his guidance. So offering the light, and it literally takes you a few seconds. You don't have to, you have your image, or some of you might have a yantra, which is a geometric inscription, usually on some type of metal plate. You could, if you have one for Dr. Pillai, you can offer the light to the yantra. Or if there's a few people who have statues, you can do it to a statue. An image, a photo is probably the most convenient way most of us have for doing this. So again, you just offer the light to his image. And it takes a few seconds. It can take as long or as short as you like. The other thing that's really great is if you have flowers. So I just picked this flower this morning, a little hibiscus, to offer. And same thing, when you do the light, then after that you can offer the flower. Some people put whole bouquets of flowers near his picture, or just one. That's up to you how to do it, but it's also a very simple way to connect with him, and very powerful, and also really sort of this beautiful experience, because it's bringing beauty into your environment and you're offering that to him. So try that. It's really a great way to do it. And then I mentioned sounds, so mantras. So that's a building block for all of Dr. Pillai's teachings. Usually starts with sound and how important they are in helping us understand our mind, our bodies, our experience in this world. And these empowered sounds that he's given us are, most of you know, they're specific to different topics. So you might be using Shrimbrzi as your wealth mantra that Dr. Pillai has taught in so many courses and videos. Maybe you're looking to create a relationship or improve relationships, you're using sounds for that, or you're really working on your own health and physicality and being more vibrant and you're using sounds for that, or just overall having that higher consciousness. So there's sounds for everything, and they're essential to his teachings, but it's also a teaching to use sounds to connect with him. So there's a few mantras out there that Dr. Pillai has given that you can use. If you've ever been to an event or in a course where he gave a specific one for you to connect with him, then you can keep using that. You can use the Moola Mantra, which Dr. Pillai has put out on YouTube and throughout a lot of courses. So you can chant that. Pillai Center has a loop of it on YouTube, so you can pick that video and you can play it, and it's the Moola Mantra that are specific sounds in a specific order that Dr. Pillai has given to connect with him. It's a few years old. There's an older mantra that he sort of brought back a little bit more recently, connecting with the archetype of Dattatreya. So there's Om Drum Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha that some of you know, and that's a great way to connect with him. Dr. Pillai's had a lot of names throughout his teaching career, and if you know him even by a different name, chanting that name will connect you to that energy. So using the mantra is one of the most powerful ways you have to connect with him. You can chant it aloud so that you're, it's kind of in that way of having a conversation and prayer and reverence and putting it out there to express your gratitude and your desire for connection. You can also chant it internally and have a more internal conversation with him and ask for what you need. You can do it different lengths of time. So there's no right or wrong way. There's no, this is the magic number. If you're doing a simple ritual, say you have your little lamp every day, and you can offer the lamp and maybe chant the mantra 1 time or 3 times or 9 times, and it's still within the realm of only a few minutes. If you're looking for a deeper practice to spend more time connecting with him, then you could chant one of those mantras, say 108 times, 1008 times. And going back to the very beginning, it's very powerful to do it every day, but if you can't do it every day for a long period of time, you can pick these power times. So moving into Dr. Plai's birthday, this is one thing you can do to connect with him, is use a mantra on his birthday, offer the light to an image, offer a flower, offer incense, offer a sweet, or even just do the chanting. And again, doing it on his birthday gives you that increase in magnitude of ability to connect with him, because his energy is more amplified on that day. So those are the simple tips I wanted to share. And then I also wanted to see if people had other tips. And before I open it up for questions, two things that were pretty recent from around the New Year's. Dr. Pillai did a New Year webcast to introduce 2019 to people. Excuse me. And he talked about connecting with him this way through an image. He also mentioned that you can walk around it. And so I can't exactly demonstrate that, but the way you can do that is, again, if you have a picture of Dr. Pillai, and it can even be small like this, you can set it, some people set it on a table, you can even set it on a chair, people have done, and you can walk around it in a clockwise motion, so that you, it's like being in a temple or a church or a sacred space where you're in a place of reverence, connecting with this divine being, in this case with Dr. Pillai directly. And as you walk around the picture, it's a great time to, one, chant the mantra, or to make your heartfelt prayer. The other thing that Dr. Pillai mentioned in his recent teachings is how much he's going to do and how powerful it is for him to work with us from a place of silence. So he mentioned this recently, talking about his upcoming mystery school program, that he can do more for all of us if he's in these meditative spaces, if he's more silent, but it's actually more powerful to help us change our karma, change our lives, rather than how we might think we need words. We need teachings that are verbal, more videos and audios. He expressed just how powerful that is. And a lot of you have experienced that firsthand with Dr. Pillai, just feeling his energy, being in his presence, watching a video and receiving that energetic transmission. Or it can also come through his audios as well, but I feel like for most people that visual is very helpful. But he is going to continue that and increase that more in 2019 to help his students, to help all of us, through this darshan, by just streaming his energetic presence through silence. The words aren't necessary, but his energy can help you. So remember that. And there's also some, even on YouTube now, on Pillai Center's YouTube channel, there's videos of Dr. Pillai giving darshan. So he is silent in the videos, and you can just watch and experience his presence. In some of them, his eyes are open, so you can connect directly with his eyes. In a few of them, I think his eyes may be closed, and so you can connect with him, and it's kind of going more internal as well. Those are really great. And I encourage you to look into that, and to also follow what he's doing in 2019, because he'll talk, or he'll maybe not talk about this, but he'll be sharing more of that blessing and teaching through silence and through darshan. So do stay tuned for that on Pillai Center in what he's giving. If you are just hearing about this and you're really interested in mystery school, you can also join that. It's starting next week, and he's going to be doing a lot of that for people in that course as well. So with that, I also want to mention his birthday, which is next week, and options you have at Pillai Center to still join the virtual experience of celebrating and honoring Dr. Pillai's birthday, and the experience of being there, participating in his teaching that he will be sharing with people on February 1st. And even if you can't make it live, because it will be at a specific time in India, where Dr. Pillai will be on February 1st, there will be a recording of his teaching for his birthday. And if you choose to purchase one of these packages, you can listen to that and experience it, and again, receive that energy at any time afterwards when you listen to it. Ideally, it's great to experience on that day with him and with all the other people who want this experience on his birthday. But again, you'll have access to it, so you can go back, you can listen to it that night, you can listen to it all throughout February. We're still fresh in this new calendar year, so making this connection with Dr. Pillai now on his birthday can set the stage for the whole year and ways you can continue to build your relationship with him. So I might be able to share this. If you go to Pillai Center, there's an opportunity to join the birthday celebration virtually, as I said. So there's different options you have. There are some prayer offerings, excuse me. So those are rituals done on your behalf at these specific locations to experience the power of his birthday. And then there is a live call option, and there is a timer on the page. So you have to register by January 29th at 11 p.m. Pacific Time to be included in that. Based on the timings of getting everything set up, it takes a day for that to happen. So the cutoff time is January 29th, which is Tuesday at 11 p.m. Pacific Time. And then if you visit this page and you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see there's the essential package is the basic prayer offerings. The enhanced package gives you more offerings, and then this is what it is there's a yantra, which I don't have a sample of, but it's a geometric inscription into a metal plate, and these are going to be energized at the special location where Dr. Pillai will be for his birthday. There'll be a fire ritual and some water, like holy water, to hydrate the yantras as well. And those have to be created and ready for the birthday. So that's why there's that cutoff time of Tuesday the 29th. Then there's the elite package, which has more offerings, and then Dr. Pillai's live birthday message, so you can access the live call, and then we'll have access to the recordings and all the materials that come from that teaching. And then finally there's an elite plus package that you can get that, and that's the big package, so there's a lot there. So those are options on Pillai Center still available to you if you are feeling called to connect with Dr. Pillai through rituals, through the teaching on his birthday. It only happens once a year, and again, this is his 70th birthday, so it's prime time to tap into this connection and take advantage of what Pillai Center has for you there. If you're unable to participate in those packages, then you can stick to what we mentioned today. So chant the mantra, the Moola Mantra, the Drum Dattatreya Shiva Baba mantra, another mantra if you have one from the past. You can have a picture, you can light a lamp, you can pray and have that conversation. And on that note, then I'll take your questions and your own suggestions. One of the greatest things Dr. Pillai ever has said to me about praying, and even specifically connecting to him, was you have to cry. You have to cry out. If that means literally crying, if that means getting down on your knees to pray, if that means stop and just surrender, let go of what is in that moment and make a heartfelt prayer. So they will always be heard when they're heartfelt. So just remember that you have the ability to make this heartfelt connection. It's completely personal to you and Dr. Pillai, and that's the beauty of it. People do this every day and have more magic, more miracles, more blessings, more like love in their lives, and more support, feeling and knowing that you're not alone, that you can do whatever's in front of you, and that you have this enlightened master guiding you, who can support you, and you can have him as a reference point each step of the way. So make it heartfelt, do it sincerely. It's, again, between you and the divine. And the more you do it, the more it becomes natural and part of your day. And you also see how it evolves and shifts and changes your relationship and your understanding of how Dr. Pillai can work with you. All right. So let me see if I can see any of your questions. So thanks, Bhakti is answering questions about the packages. And if you click on the link right below our video where it says learn more about the birthday proxy, you can see the packages. There's all the information at the top. You can scroll down to the bottom and click on the one you would like. And also just throwing this out there to make it a bit more interactive. If anyone has other ways you personally connect with Dr. Pillai that you want to share, feel free to type them in chat and we can read through them and share them with people. If you already signed up for one of the packages, you'll receive the information for the live call with Dr. Pillai and the timing of it. If you haven't yet, it will be sent out closer to February 1st. So you have the login information and how you access it. And that will be followed up by the information of how to access the recording as well. So this will all be created into one of the Pillai Center Academy structures that you have, the materials, the videos, the audios, and the anything supplemental that will help based on the teaching that he gives. One other thing that I didn't mention is that you can, sometimes people ask about, so this is all very much about connecting with Dr. Pillai. Sometimes people ask about giving Dr. Pillai gifts for his birthday. And one of the greatest things you can do is, one, you can share your experience with anyone that you think would be benefited by however Dr. Pillai has helped you, or teachings or mantras or meditations that you have learned that you know would benefit someone. Often we run into people in our lives and we're like, oh, you would love this, or I feel like you've come into my life because you need a little bit of this. So sharing that, Dr. Pillai is so compassionate and always wanting people to learn from one another and share in the name of love. He wants you to feel that love yourself and to spread that. Another really powerful way to do that is just to help other people. If it is someone you know well, who you know needs help, if it's help moving something or help buy them groceries. One other gem that he's taught me personally is there's so much power in feeding someone else. Because it's a way to nourish someone. And we all know what that feels like when were around like a motherly figure or a really nurturing person who just takes care of us because it's just coming through them. It's not because they have to, or even that you ask them to. It's just that love and nourishment. So if you're able to express that to someone in your life, someone you know or a stranger, that's another way of sort of living Dr. Pillai's compassion, his teachings, his love. And doing that on his birthday is something you can do. You don't have to sign up for it. You can just do it. And then even beyond his birthday, taking that into practice in your life. So not ignoring those moments when you run into someone and they need some help, and maybe it's help you've received from someone else or you've received through Dr. Pillai's teachings, or by doing a specific mantra or meditation, or participating in one of these programs where you've gained something from someone in that program, passing that on. That's all a way to give back to this world, and that's Dr. Pillai's desire, is to help this world change, and you're a piece of that. So you do your part, and that can be done in such a compassionate way that sometimes we get afraid, like, oh, I shouldn't say something, or I shouldn't, that person seems like they could use help. But taking that step and offering that, not trying to fix anyone or solve anything, but just offering something out of love and compassion, is another way you can honor him on his birthday. Any other questions about ways to connect, or ways you do connect yourself that you want to share? Just scanning through chat, so feel free to type anything in chat. I just keep remembering other ways to connect with him. Another way to put out there is through your dreams. I work with people in some of the Pillai Center programs, and there's been teachings on dreams, or just interacting with people who are working with Dr. Pillai, and he may show up in your dreams. And you can, you want to pay attention to that. And you can also, if you're someone who dreams a lot, you're interested in things like lucid dreaming, or just being more conscious of everything, waking and dreaming state that you're in, you can, even before you go to bed, set that in your mindset, create that intention, or make that prayer that Dr. Pillai can come through your dreams as well. And those are really powerful experiences for people. And if sometimes it just happens naturally, and sometimes people do really set that intention, and then he can work with you through your dreams. I'm just popping over to YouTube as well. So someone's asking about getting rid of bad karma. And doing these practices of connecting directly with Dr. Pillai is the place I would start. So if you establish this relationship with Dr. Pillai, his desire as a profound teacher in this world, as an enlightened master, to give us this wisdom so that we can change our lives, his number one well, I would say probably his number one teaching is to help people change their karma. And that's why he has different techniques, different mantras, different meditations. But the idea is that as you use this wisdom that he's sharing with us, you are becoming more aware of how your life works, of how your mind works, of the thoughts you have, which are how your karmas play out. You're becoming more aware of things like astrology, and that there's these connections to energies like the planets that deliver karma on the earth plane, or however you want to talk about that. There's tools like that. And so what I would do is make this connection with Dr. Pillai and set a small intention to do it, even just do it every day this week, and keep it really simple. Have an image of him, light a lamp, get a flower, and chant his mantra. And it's in less than 5 minutes, but you're establishing that connection. And then as you move through that connection, you start to feel it. And then you start to pray and ask for help with whatever karmas are coming up for you. To take on karma as a whole is a really big, that's like a mountain that you're trying to climb. But sometimes there's specific instances you could focus on. So say, just saying you have bad karma is really quite hard to handle. We all have karma we're working through. We're all creating things. We're all trying to become more aware of the thoughts we have that create our life. And if there's specific areas, say it's just, I want to be more efficient at my work, or I want to focus on actually making some more money so these other parts of my life aren't so hard, or I always have this type of relationship. I keep repeating this. Okay, well, there's a pattern. I want to work on that. So you can start to look at specific areas. But first start with making the connection to Dr. Pillai. Then start with the dialogue with Dr. Pillai and asking for his guidance to help you with one of those specific areas. And then start looking at the teachings, maybe the mantras or meditation or rituals for specific areas. And then you'll start to notice your karma changing, and you'll also be guided in how to do other things to change other karmas. So, and that's what I'd recommend. Sorry, I'm reading on the screen, so it's always a little hard to see everything. Oh, this is great. Thank you for saying this. I forgot. Vibhuti, I don't know if you can see this. This is like a old school packet. So a lot of you are familiar with this gray ash you get in the mail when you do rituals at Pillai Center in Ashtravid. Or if you're familiar with it from going to temples in India, this is a really, really powerful thing. Again, another gem that Dr. Pillai has told me personally is, he said it seems so simple, but it's so powerful. It's one of the most powerful things you can do in a day. And you can just apply it most commonly to the forehead area. You can apply it anywhere on your body if you have an ache or pain. But like you can just, I'm not going to be very graceful about this, but you can put it, you can even rub it in all the way. Often you'll see people with it on their forehead, and just remember it is it's a divine substance. It came from a ritual that had a divine purpose, and it's about it can really help you stop your thoughts and sort of protect you from overly logical thoughts that don't let you expand into this greater realm of divine thinking. And also, I would encourage you to put it on before you do this light offering to Dr. Pillai's picture, or before you make a prayer to him or chant his mantra, because then you're just swiping out the negativity. You're sort of setting the stage, like cleaning the slate with whatever thoughts and burdens you were focused on. You're sort of cleaning the slate and then being very intentional to make this connection with him. And it's just a powerful, again, it's simple, but it's an action with a lot of meaning that can help you. Even just the action helps you think oh, I'm stopping those thoughts. I don't need to think that thought anymore. And I'm going to focus on Dr. Pillai, and I'm going to focus on this sound that is very pure and powerful in itself. So if I spend my time praying and connecting to Dr. Pillai, focusing on these mantras, that's where your awareness is, as opposed to all the busyness, you know, what's happening in your life. And that's where you start to change your consciousness. So use Vibhuti, definitely, yes. And you get a lot of it, again, through rituals that you participate in, and then they send you packets from India. So if you participate in any of these birthday proxy packages, since they all have rituals, you'll be receiving Vibhuti. You also receive the goddess powder, the red kumkum, so you can use that too. For photos of Dr. Pillai, you can email office at Pillai Center, and they can guide you to the right places to get some of them. If you're in any of the programs at Pillai Center, there's usually some available through those courses. But yeah, if you email, they'll tell you the best way. Again, you can, if you don't have one immediately, there's a lot of them on Pillai Center, and then on YouTube, Pillai Center's YouTube channel. If you're able to, again, you can look on your phone or on the computer and get his image that way. I mentioned too, like these old, if you have like an old card, I keep these and have them everywhere. Even like a CD case, I had an old CD case. If you have those, or his book, there's pictures in there. But yeah, definitely send us an email, and they can send you the best places on Pillai Center. Oh yeah, you can pray in any language, definitely. I think that's the question. But yeah, whatever is your natural language, definitely pray in that language. The most important thing when you make this connection is that it's authentic, that it is heartfelt, and nobody has to know what you say. Nobody has to hear your conversation, your prayers to Dr. Pillai, except you and Dr. Pillai. So definitely make it personal and make it honest and make it authentic. And also watch how they change. If you commit to doing this every day, you'll see the nature of your conversations and your prayers change. Maybe because you start to manifest things, or maybe because your priorities shift. You no longer just want, you know, this car, or maybe you have a car that works, or that's probably a bad example, but you do start to see that that connection guides you in what's most important for you. So, and maybe it is working through, you know, a relationship, and then you do that, and then you notice that you're on to something different, or a different version of that. Or if you have a health issue, we usually don't focus on our health unless something's wrong, but that's a really great thing to pray about, because your health is essential. You know, even if it's a toothache or a headache, you know, pray about that. Obviously, money is a big one for most people. We're all looking to have more material wealth to ease the stress of life and to, you know, live with purpose and what we want to do, and not just because we have bills to pay. So, you know, you can pray to him about that. You can, so I think there's a lot of questions about Shrimbrazi too. How many times you should chant it if you want to make more money, if you have a business. Incorporate this connection to Dr. Pillai into your Shrimbrazi practice. I think I mentioned this, but before you do a mantra, before you start a meditation, or whatever that practice looks like. So it could be, maybe you're in a Shrimpurzi course, maybe you just chant the mantra all the time. Again, align yourself with Dr. Pillai first and ask him for guidance in deeper understanding of the sound. So, or, you can pray to him and ask for clarity, like getting really clear about what you want to create. Like just saying you want to create money is very generic, but what does that money mean to you? What are you going to do with it? What's your business going to be like? What's your, where's the hang up? You can ask him those things. So if you're really focused on that, definitely do this simple practice of connecting with him first. So the call information I don't think has been sent out, and they might post this on there, but you will get all the details for the February 1st teaching with Dr. Pillai this coming week for sure. There's a little bit of knowing exactly the timing of it and all the information that has to go into that. So thank you for your patience with that, and we will send that out to you this week for sure. And if, again, if you have registered and you have any questions about any of the packages for the birthday experience, you can always reach our customer service office at Pillai Center. Just tell them specifically what your question is. But if you're just waiting for that information, it will be sent to you this week for the call, with the call details. And as we mentioned, you have until the 29th at 11 p.m. Pacific. So that's Tuesday. Tuesday is the cutoff time to sign up so you can get the yantras and all of the rituals so that your name can be put into them, but they need to create the yantras and make sure there's enough at the location by the 1st. If you have a question about using his picture, write into office at Pillai Center and they can guide you through that. So I'm skipping over to the YouTube folks now. I'll take a couple more questions. People are sharing their experiences with some of the mantras as well. So different people talking about success with Shrimpurzi. If you do have success with these things, like I said, sharing an experience with other people is in itself a way to connect with Dr. Pillai and for the teachings to grow within you, because we always learn more when we share with others. And then also when you have a challenge with something, say you are doing a practice and maybe it's getting you down or it seems too monotonous and you need to shake it up, by listening to other people in this community, you can also get some gems that will help you to change up your practice or to do this connection with Dr. Pillai in a different way, or to use a specific mantra in a different way, or sometimes Dr. Pillai will give us messages through other people, or just by doing the connection to him every day, maybe you hear something from someone in your life, so it comes through someone that maybe you're not expecting, and they give you some information that's really useful. Someone talking about Patanjali mantras. That mantra is an amazing mantra and very powerful at his samadhi in Rameshwaram. So that's a beautiful thing to share. And again, if you're wondering about a specific amount of time to spend on any mantra or a practice that you've learned from Dr. Pillai, start today by incorporating just a simple way to connect to him. Look at his picture, offer the light, chant his mantra, and then again use that as a stepping stone for the mantra you're working with. And so again, if you have a specific mantra, there's a lot of stream Prithvi questions, a lot of Kleem, which is a beautiful mantra as well. Some Patanjali Yoga Sutras, sounds from that. Another way to continually connect with Dr. Pillai is to go revisit the teachings that you have through either Pillai Center Academy programs. So if you've purchased one of those programs, you have access to it on Pillai Center Academy. You can log in and you can go back and listen to his teachings. You can download the meditations and you can listen to the mantras. And you can also read through his old teachings. That's a really profound practice because we're always changing. And so maybe you heard one thing last year when you started a Stream Brizzy program, or you started a Ganesha experience, or maybe you were in a goddess like Navaratri time and you took a course. But if you circle back and revisit some of those, it's a way you can kind of refresh and have a new connection with that information that you already have access to. So that's one thing to remember. Dr. Pillai gives us these tools for our life tool bag, and you can keep going back to them. And sometimes they are more important at times down the road, or when you circle back, or something makes more sense now because you're in a different place and it clicks more, and then that mantra you understand and you're able to implement it into your daily practice. So you can revisit teachings if it's been like a webinar for an event, a one-time thing, you have access to that. Or if it's a longer course, go back and check into those. And like I said, a lot of those have images of Dr. Pillai. He's given specific ways to connect with him in a lot of programs, so you can explore that. And then one thing I always do is I watch a lot of his YouTube videos because I'm always learning, and Dr. Pillai is always putting out new information. So he's evolving his teachings and introducing new components that, different people are interested in. If you're more scientific, you might like, to talk about the brain more. If you really like the mantras, you might like when he gives mantras in a different way. But you can also go back on the different YouTube channels through Pillai Center and Ashraved and revisit some of those videos. And that's also a great way to kind of refresh this connection with him. You find a few videos you really love, and that will propel you into your practice. And I think the final thing I'll say, I'll double check these questions, but there is a level of discipline to this. But if you think of it from that heartfelt prayer and extending your authentic desire to connect with Dr. Pillai as this amazing teacher here to help us, to help humanity change in this world, to help us understand this idea of consciousness and how we create our lives and the thoughts we have and the tools we have to change that, it becomes part of your life. So the goal is not to just chant this mantra so many times or to only connect with Dr. Pillai on his birthday, but to integrate this relationship into your life. And that takes discipline for all of us. So just remember that and use the birthday this coming week, use this whole week leading up to the birthday to establish that or to reestablish that and to welcome this relationship into your life. And then to let it grow and prosper. And it doesn't have to be what it's been in the past. It can be new. And you're always changing, he's always changing, so you can create something different for this year. But implement that discipline from that place, that authentic, heartfelt desire, and things will happen. You will at least know you're not alone and you have the guidance of Dr. Pillai in your life, and the rest will carry on from there. So I think with that, I'll probably wrap up unless there's any other questions. If it's more specifics about the birthday experience, the proxy packages available, again, our customer service team can guide you at office at Pillai Center with all those questions. And just know if you signed up, the details are coming for the February 1st teaching with Dr. Pillai. And then afterwards, obviously, I mentioned you'll have access to all of that material, and then your rituals will be followed up with a package from India with all the components like the vibhuti and kumkum. All right, so thanks everybody. Again, remember Tuesday the 29th is your cutoff time at 11 p.m. Pacific for these packages. So contact Pillai Center, click on the link below and you can access the birthday trip information. And then also always write into us and let us know about your connections with Dr. Pillai. Let us know an experience you want to share with him, about ways you've connected with him. And again, by sharing is connecting with him, because you're connecting to this group of people around the world who are connecting with him. So thank you for being here and joining us on this Saturday. Have an amazing weekend, and again, make it a priority. Commit to the first, as Dr. Pillai's 70th birthday is coming up, and make that connection with him. And it will be a beautiful experience that will guide you for the rest of the year. Namaste, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you on the next Pillai Center webinar.